The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has filed a lawsuit against President Bola Tinubu over the administration's failure to prosecute contractors who allegedly received over 167 billion naira from the Nigerian bulk electricity trading PLC and 30 other ministries, departments and agencies without executing projects. SERAP, in a statement posted on its official X account, announced that it had initiated legal action due to the government's failure to hold contractors accountable for the alleged misappropriation of funds. The anti-corruption advocacy group argues that the non-prosecution of those responsible for the fraud undermines Nigeria's commitment to transparency and accountability. The lawsuit seeks a court order compelling the government to launch a thorough investigation and bring those responsible to justice. The SERAP emphasized that the government has a duty to ensure that public funds are used effectively. It stated that failure to prosecute the implicated contractors sets a dangerous precedent for financial mismanagement and corruption within government agencies. The group also highlighted the economic impact of corruption in the power sector, which continues to suffer from inefficiencies despite significant financial injection. Ensuring that funds allocated for development projects are properly utilized is critical for national progress, SERAP stated. Additionally, SERAP is urging the courts to compel President Tinubu to direct the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, to publish details of the project. This includes the locations of the projects for which contractors and companies collected 167 billion naira, the amount collected by each contractor and company, and the names of the shareholders involved. I'd love to get your thoughts on this, Barrister Manki.
I would rather have said there's no thought you want to get. You should know my direction. I've said squarely, this is another angle of the theater of absurdities, right? They are just mentioning that to divert the attention of Nigeria. Now you could see people at the newspaper stand, almost fighting on empty stomach. You know, most of our youth do not understand the power of education. And there is this twin principle of feudalism: poverty and ignorance. Under political economics, poverty is a legitimate weapon of war. And that is what the political class are using against Nigerians. For somebody like me, I told you, may that day never come, that I will go and accept the bribe of so-called subsidized federal government rice for a lawyer to pay 40,000 and submit my NIM number that I've collected a bag of rice. May that day never come. Instead of saying the truth, I blame the problem in Nigeria on my professional organization. I didn't go to Panya. I was here in 2012 when Nigeria was occupied. Where is Wole Soyinka? You see the civil war they are fighting? It will come to an end in my lifetime. Mark it somewhere. I say it again, that the federal government is fighting a civil war. This civil war they are fighting will end in my lifetime. I entered university at the age of 1920, University of Calabar. I heard of Odukpani-Itu River. No, Odukpani-Itu road crisis. As far back as then, 1991-92. It is worse now than then. You know the reason? They don't want to open Calabar Seaport. If you move from Element Junction here to Trailer Park, the reason why RCC is now working on that road is because of that expatriate that died. And I'm sure they came under heavy bash from the government of that guy that died. That guy was a consultant to Rivers State government in two angles: to revive Songhai farm and the Oyibo cassava plantation. That guy who perished in that distance. It's after he perished in that river that RCC, of all companies, now lay barricades along that naked river called Aleto, so that no vehicle will not plunge in. After that expatriate, it is now that they are there running up and down according to Dele Farotimi, Kiti Kete Kete, or whatever name you might put it. It's now they are trying to walk on the road. So this is it. What are they telling us? In fact, they should have mentioned that snakes swallow the money. Or they should have told us that monkey ate it up. It's all nonsense.
And this is one out of many funds, misappropriation of funds that we have been getting.
What is going on is a situation wherein this system, this evil system, is ready to buy anybody on board. All this money now, nobody will. Let me ask SERAP. I'm very sorry to say it. So when you go to court, what is the purpose of the judgment you get? How many judgments have you gotten? And what is the purpose? These are the people that we have called for Nigeria to be occupied. God will push us to the point that all of you are going to be disgraced in this country. All of you supporting the present evil in Nigeria. That I've said it, I've argued somewhere and I said, by what is happening in this country, they use unequal law. I'm a lawyer. They use unequal law to steal the oil and gas resources from the minorities. That God bless them and put this thing under their soil. And
is this now the power sector that federal government has actually insinuated that tariff hike is still going to get increased? And we're still getting this, that 167 billion naira has been allocated for that, and we're still not getting it. You know, this country, I'm not sure, there are a few states that actually have the 22-hour consistent power supply, which like you stated about the telecoms that has to increase their prices because of the whole high inflation of the economy and all of that. Well, I just hope that, like you stated, SERAP will actually move, because this is another one that they have come up to sue the president over misappropriation of funds. They have actually gone to the National House of Assembly to call out most of them, you know, and we do not get the ending, the conclusion of it at any time.
Nothing. So, you know, absolutely nothing is coming out of it. Now, the only way forward, which SERAP is playing around with, they will do anything they want to do short of calling Nigerians to come out. Let's hold our leaders to account. Which they did in this country. I saw it with my eyes. Nigeria was occupied under Jonathan. Where is Wole Soyinka? Where is Tunde Bakare that said God told him that, you see all these religious witchcraft they practice in this country, it will come to an end one day. That's why most people, when they leave Nigeria, they get to the Western world, where government is responsible. They abandon anything religion. They look at religion as being scam. It's because of the practitioners, the operators. I told you here last time that any nation that its National Assembly abandons its people and is focusing on solar street light as against generation of power is doomed. This is just a reflection. And after some time, you will wake up and have a psychology that there is light. Meanwhile, you can't use the street light. Once it's day, it goes. You can't use it to be in charge of food. So you just have a mental, a psychological defeat that there is light, while indeed there is no light. That is how bad it is.
So why do you think that SERAP has not come to that point? Like,
they are playing ethnic politics. Let me say this very clearly to you if you don't understand. I told you that I did a research and I came to the conclusion of what I call the political calculus of Nigeria. The political calculus of Nigeria is to the effect that any individual who is from former Eastern Nigeria or Eastern region, irrespective of your ethnic correlation, beyond the River Niger, you are seen and treated as an Igbo man. Why is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in prison? I enjoyed the call by his lawyer this morning that nobody should call on federal government to plead that they should release him because he committed no offense. Extraordinary rendition is an indictment on the legal integrity of Nigeria.
Do you think that should have been the right statement for him to make?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
So that, because if you keep quiet, it will be deemed that you are, if they cannot...
Don't you think that will make the agitation in the South is continuous?
Let me tell you, as each day passes, right, internationally, that's how the image of United Kingdom is going down. This is the citizen of United Kingdom. Do you understand? Legitimate citizen of United Kingdom. If he committed any crime, they will have revoked his dissent. He's a citizen of UK. the oil and gas that leaves Nigeria, nobody knows the quantity on daily basis. I have told you that the oil and gas sector in Nigeria is the global fraud headquarters. The day that forensic examination is carried out in the oil and gas sector, you will, in fact, if you hear that people are killed, you will not even blink. Because there is wicked. I've told somebody and the person laughed. I say even devil is ashamed of what our political class are doing in Nigeria. He's telling them that, so you people can do this to your fellow citizen. I'm not there as it were. I'm not party to it because I can't do this. Even devil himself is telling Nigerian politicians that I can't do. If you know the enormity of wealth in this nation and the wickedness, they can only do that to those that they have enslaved mentally. And one thing is sure, when you are economically empowered, it will be difficult to be enslaved. That's why they don't want to do anything that will empower the people and move them from that suppression to come to light so that they cannot question what they are doing. So it's the same thing. The only way forward, the solution to this thing is like I will tell somebody. A professor who says he read he read oil and gas or petroleum engineering or even civil engineering. You know, in the Western world, the armed forces, Air Force, Navy, they have platform where they refine these things. They are trained. That's why when there is national crisis, they can deploy the medical part of them. They can deploy the marine, who will come and if there is a kind of fraud in somewhere, is it capture? They have sessions. They handle so many things. But generally, they can, just like in Israel, everybody is in the receive military training. So you can see even younger, even when they are not properly uniformed, they can be called in the case of emergency. You see them with their AK-47 walking around.
Should we say this is one out of many that of those courts?
It's a continuation of a game plan by the political class.
Because we've had a case of a particular lawyer that came out to sue the president over policies.
All those things are nonsense.
Violations to human rights.
All those
infractions to human rights and all of that.
See,
and then the courts actually annulled it, and then they had to adjourn the case, against the president. It should we also be afraid?
Okay, that impeachment stuff.
Yes.
See, I'm very sorry, you are not a lawyer, so you don't understand. I'm an insider. Let me say this to you. I can sue you to court, right? The judge handling the matter can decide to frustrate my case. By the training and exposure of a lawyer, when you hear that perversion of justice, they are things that are done. A judge can write what you did not say. And his record is superior.
So this could be one out of the...
to me, it's just a waste of time. We know the solution to our problem. It's just like talking about election in 2027. Anybody that is thinking of election in 2027 is a dreamer. Unless there is electoral reform. Do you understand it? Electoral reform that will permit only electronic voting, that will permit independent candidates, amongst others, radical reforms. And Nigerians can come up and tell our legislators, this is what we want. If you don't want it, we occupy the system. We don't need the legislature in this country. I am telling you, see what was happening in Libya. The Western world became afraid of, Gaddafi. That's why they came after him. Nigeria has the resources. We have the manpower. The moment this economic jinx is broken, there will be revival in every aspect of the country. Majority of Nigerians will return back to this country. And there are Nigerians who are abroad who are ready to give leadership part-time. They will fly in and sit and give direction to this country. Not these charlatans we have. And unless and until we are ready. See, even though you go to Bible, I used to ask this question. Does it mean that God was not aware of what the suffering of the children of Israel? He was aware, but they were not yet dissatisfied with the status quo. until an individual becomes dissatisfied with the status quo, no change comes. Never expect any change unless and until you are willing to change. So if we are still dilly-dallying, enjoying this manifest wickedness by few criminal minds at the corridor of power, then it will continue. But when we are dissatisfied, like I have said it, I don't want my children to experience this thing I'm experiencing. With my NBET.com, because I'm literally computer-wise, then I have shared with you here, before my car was stolen, I did not have money both home and abroad to buy a brand new engine. So it means if I die then, I will bury with borrowed money. Is that life? Then you see illiterates who cannot write their names driving brand new cars because they are hanging behind politicians who don't mean well. Now, do you know no election take place in this country? There's no election. The will of the people is of no moment because it's few individuals at the courts that they will drag the matter to. Is the judge that will take decision and say this is the person. For whatever that transpired, they only know. But we are here. And unless and until we are ready to say enough to this nonsense, it will continue. And the number one critical issue, even the clergy are guilty of this. Because Bola Tinubu is from the West. And the same politics that Awewo played with Ojukwu in those days, that is what they are playing now. That's why that road that I'm telling you until the expatriate died. Because they feel that if they walk that road, that the Easterners will concentrate on One Port and Lagos will go down. Is that not madness?